What's up, everybody? So in today's video, I'm going to go over 5 things I think anybody who keeps reptiles could definitely use. And these 5 things are super cheap, super effective, and some of them might seem obvious, but I mean, some of them you just don't think to use, and they're super helpful. So, that being said, number 5. Vinegar. So, vinegar is a pretty good disinfectant, but it's not really considered a disinfectant. Long story short, it kills E. coli, Salmonella, Listeria. It kills those bacteria or viruses. Yeah, I don't know if those are bacteria or viruses off the top of my head, but it kills those things, but it doesn't kill all the stuff. So it's not really like super good disinfectant. But for cleaning and sanitary purposes, what's great about it is it's all natural. So in my case, I can't use bleach or a lot of chemicals because I have a septic system. I have well water, and my particular system, I can't have bleach, you know, get into that or any type of other chemicals. And you know, when I wash my snake tubs, I just pop some of this and clean up some of the snake poop. I don't know if you've cleaned some snake poop sometimes. It's like impossible to get out. So this stuff really helps, and this was I think $1.99 maybe, this giant jug. And yeah, I use vinegar. You know, I scrub them down with vinegar in my tubs and stuff like that, and before I wash them in my utility tub. So yeah, vinegar works really well for that. And also too, for glass cleaner on the tanks, you know, you spray a little vinegar with water and wipe it down. It works wonders, and it's non-toxic. That's the best thing about vinegar. It's non-toxic. It's natural. I wouldn't use it in your plants for sure. I don't think the acidity in vinegar works well with plants, but I wouldn't put it on amphibians or fish or anything like that either. I don't really think he's going to be good in the water with them. But yeah, on the outside, it's a great cleaner. Better than Windex, that's for sure. 4. Number 4 is this snake grabbing thing. This one was a little expensive. I got it off Amazon. It's pretty durable. Some of these are pretty cheap, but not only does it reach stuff, I don't know what these are called actually, grabber, reacher, I don't know. But not only is it good for reaching stuff, but more importantly, the reason why I have it is feeding snakes. So some of my boas, they got, I would say they're like dangerous necessarily, but they got some sharp teeth. They got a quick strike, and they don't pay attention to what they're doing. They're not very accurate. I'd say like 9 out of 10 times they miss the first time and they bite this. Also, too, they're pretty wild about it. You know, they don't care what's going on when they're in feeding mode. Outside of feeding mode, I've never had zero issues. And I used to feed them with tongs. It was okay if you have a small snake, smaller snakes. The tongs work pretty well, but once you get a big one, they'll bite your hand for sure. I know if I was using tongs, they don't know any better. You know, they're just trying to, they're thinking of food. They just want to grab something and eat it. So this is definitely, I think, a must-have if you have larger snakes. So not even large, just snakes that can bite you. I mean, no one wants to get hit by a snake, even if it's not going to do much damage. It's just annoying, and their teeth get stuck in your hand and stuff like that. So, yeah, definitely a good one. 3. So coming in at number 3 on the list is one of these sprayers. This is the bigger one. These aren't much more expensive than some of the other ones, but the reason why these are definitely the most important is, one, they have the wand, which is pretty cool. You can adjust the flow pretty nicely, and it's a large reservoir. It has the hose, so you can get around everywhere with it. You just pump it up. Now these are junk. They're tiresome. After a while, they stop working, and you got to constantly refill them. Even these are junk, in my opinion. They stop working after a while, and you know, they don't hold much water, so you're constantly refilling them if you have a lot of things to spray. Whereas this, you know, I only have to fill this up, you know, a couple times a week. When you're using something like this, you're filling it up probably like, I don't know, once or twice a day minimum. And like I said, these aren't much cheaper, so nothing with the larger ones with the hose. It's worth it. 2. All right, so number 2, this seems obvious, but these scrubbers, they're a buck. They're very rigid. They work really well. I use this is actually used to clean up the snake poop. I was talking about earlier, that stuff can get caked in and it gets really tough. So I douse it with vinegar and I scrub it down pretty well. Usually it does a trick. And I guess I know it's obvious, but you don't think of it, you know. I mean, how often do you go out and you're like, oh, I need this for my snake room, or I need this for my snake, or I need this for my fish tank. It's great for algae too. I use it for algae in my aquariums. I scrub everything down with it. But they're a buck a pop. I get, you know, a couple at a time. One for my fish, one for my snakes, maybe one for my frogs, stuff like that. I know it's like a super obvious choice, but I mean, you tend to forget these things, and sometimes you just use paper towels and whatnot because you just, you don't think of it. So. Okay, so for number 1 is the gun, the temperature gun. I know there's a lot of probes out there, inexpensive ones, expensive ones. In my opinion, in a lot of cases, they don't work properly, they don't read properly, and you know, sometimes you have to cover a larger area, and the probe can't cover the whole area. The brand is E-Tech City, if you can see it. Really good. This was like $10, I think, something like that. You just put the batteries in, and it gives you an accurate reading, and it never fails. I've matched it up plenty of times, and you know, like I said, there's been times where I thought, you know, hey, this is 85, and the thermometer says 85. When I use this, it'll say like 81 or 82, and you know, I'll check it again, you know, with a different temperature gun, and they're going to both read the right temperature. And it sucks because you don't want to have something too hot or too cold. And for example, too, if you have a large enclosure, you want to see what one temperature is on one side. Maybe one side you want 85, and the other side you want 75. So, you know, you say you have two bulbs. You know, 2 probes. I mean, the probes kind of suck, especially the cheaper ones. I mean, I even use this temperature gun in my snake racks with. I have this special head unit that has the probe and regulates the temperature. I forget what brand it is. It's they're pretty common, but yeah, I make sure I check all the time with this to make sure everything's good. And you know, these work really well. I said these are very important because if you want to keep the correct temperature, you need the correct reading. And from my experience, thermometers and a lot of the cheaper probes, they just don't work. So. Hope that was kind of helpful. I know maybe some of those things you've already heard of or already have, but like I said, you know, I like the scrub brush thing. It didn't dawn on me all these years. I half-heartedly saw it at the dollar store, and I said, you know what, that'll work good. You know, because I originally got it for the first time for a fish tank because my algae scrubber broke, and I'm like, man, you know, I don't want to buy a new one. The good ones are like $10-15. And, you know, I kind of forgot about it, and then I saw it at dollar store. I said, I bet you this will work. And sure enough, it did work. So, but yeah, some of these things, like, they're common. And like I said, hopefully they help. And until next time, like, comment, subscribe so I don't get buried in the algorithm. I'd like to make more videos, and it helps when people watch them. So other than that, have a great day.